Here we go! Peachy!
Here I go!
What's going on? We're back for another edition of the Funtendo Game Show on Thursday, March 14th, 2024. Today is Pi Day. In honor of Pi Day, we went to piday.org and we're going to find out what pi is.
Pi is the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. The diameter is the width of the circle, and if you take that length and wrap it around the circle, it will fit approximately 3.14159 times. I say approximately because pi is a never-ending number that we typically just estimate as 3.14, or 22 over 7. You'll see this number used in all sorts of interesting and complicated equations and formulas the further you dive into mathematics.
So for Pi Day, we're going to talk about how we're sharing the pie between men and women. We're going to start off with the gender pay gap statistics in 2024. The gender pay gap refers to the difference between the average earnings of men and women in the workforce.
Here we go!
Despite attempts to narrow the gap, women still earn 16% less than men on average. Women earn just 84 cents for every dollar a man makes. Women of color are among the lowest paid workers in rural areas, with rural Black and Hispanic women making 56 cents for every dollar than rural white non-Hispanic men make. Latinas comprise just 55% of what non-Hispanic white men are paid in 2024. Black women are paid 64% of what non-Hispanic white men are paid. Native American women are typically paid only 59 cents for every dollar paid to white non-Hispanic men. A 20-year-old woman just starting a full-time year-round work stands to lose $407,760 over a 40-year career compared to her male counterpart. Come on, man. Even when women make as much as their husbands, they still do more work at home.
I don't care.
So I will admit that there is a gender pay gap, and
100%.
to be honest, yeah, I think most women probably do more at home.
You've heard that before, right?
You know, men probably definitely need to step their game up in terms of contributing at home with chores, women, managing finances, etc.
It doesn't matter what you
A
think.
salary under this amount is a dating deal breaker for many Americans.
Oh my God.
Here's how you can avoid being part of the 64% who say they're financially incompatible with their partner.
And you know what that means.
Throw him over the side.
Pay transparency, it's here. 13 U.S. states and cities covering 1 in 4 workers in the United States, from New York to California and Colorado, now require employers share salary information. It's a step in the right direction, no matter how absurd these salary ranges might be. In one case, a Netflix range between $90,000 and $900,000 a year.
You got a career, you look at your watch, time just flies. You're like, God damn, whoa. It's 5:35. Damn, I gotta come in early tomorrow and work on my project. Cause there ain't enough time when you got a career. When you got a job, there's too much time.
And millennials are way more likely to share.
And they're doing it. Dating. Salary transparency has come for dating, with 13% of couples discussing it within the first month of dating. And there's a clear line of delineation here.
I love it.
Making less than $30,000 a year is a deal breaker.
You're fired.
For Western and Southern Financial Group. Don't get me wrong, with inflation on everyday items, sky-high mortgage rates, housing prices, you name it, living on $30K ain't easy. But this guy made half that. This dork right here made $15,000 a year at KEVN in Rapid City, South Dakota, when I began dating my now wife. While she deserves a ton of credit for eating ramen noodles and PB&J for the first few years, she, like most investors watching this show right now, was looking to buy low.
Shut your
Believing
mouth.
the stock would go up and up exponentially, and it has, actually. Dating is hard. Finding somebody to enjoy spending your life with is a real-life mission impossible.
You've heard that before,
Nearly
right?
A third of couples wish they'd discussed salary earlier in the relationship. So while transparency is important, The key is doing your homework. If financial goals go hand in hand with whom you want to grow old with, eye that person like an investment. Shauna, look at where the stock is going, not where it is now. You would never buy a stock based on, oh, that's where it's going to stay forever. You're looking for where it's going. Am I wrong?
No, I think you're exactly right. I do agree with you.
It doesn't matter what you think. Shut your mouth. Know your role and shut your mouth because the people's champ is ready to talk.
Not be what you're hoping to achieve during a lifetime or what you're
You've heard
hoping your
that
salary is
before,
going to
right?
be 10, 15, 20 years down the line. You got to take a chance on that person. But speaking of things that people might now be starting to discuss more, or maybe more so wish they had discussed more, you mentioned that salary figure, also debt in general, just in terms of how much debt everyone is, many people are racking up at this point. 63% said that they never discussed debt in their relationship. Millennials say that credit card debt is the biggest deal breaker. When you take a look at the numbers, about 2/3 of millennials have credit card debt. So if that's your deal breaker, you got to start talking about it. I think the key to all this is just communication.
What I'm trying to say is, like,
there should be more of that. Personal loans was the biggest deal breaker when it comes to both men and women. And though one's from Mars, one's from Phoenix, 31% of men and women said personal loans were the #1 deal breaker when they found out about them. My wife did have personal loans, which I found out about early. I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Yes.
If your husband made 15 grand when you began dating, would you still have been dating?
Of course.
Shut your mouth. It seems like you have a little problem understanding the English language.
But yes, of course.
And we should point out, as our TikTok friend did there, not just with pay transparency, but with dating, it is Gen Z that's really beginning to change this.
I'm not
And
mentioning
we
no
did have
names.
That conversation earlier, really interesting study. We'll link that.
You've heard
onto
that
it.
before, right?
So now that we know a little bit about the pay gender gap,
I don't give a damn.
can't deny it, the statistics prove it. Let's get into women's perspectives on how much does a man's income matter to them?
Income matter to you?
Depends how much we make, like, together. Can be like I'm making 150 and he's making 30, so that's not gonna work.
I'm
but
a
if
pimp.
it's like more or less something similar, and sometimes he can get more, I can get less, so like, it can work.
It's in my code.
No, as long as it's like they're not working like 1 day a week and like not giving a about.
What?
Especially like me, like an actor, I'm a performer. I'm not raising the big bills like you have to. You have to accept the small paycheck sometimes to get the big one.
I don't
heard
really
that before,
care.
right?
If we have a conversation about the things that we want to accomplish within the household, you want me to take up more of the bills because I'm making more money than you are. Or I handle the mortgage, you handle the utilities and, you know, light bill, gas bill, whatever bill that's smaller than a mortgage, then I'm fine with that. Depends on the kind of conversation we have and the things that you want to do and the things that you want to provide.
Do you care if your partner makes less than you?
Okay, so first of all, there's the question I've never been thinking about before I moved to the US. Because for me, I always made good money. I was like, okay, whatever you make, it can work. But once I moved here, I realized that here you have to think about.
Here I come.
So yeah, for now, for me, living in New York, it matters.
I want them to be well off, you know, but they don't have to be like super rich. You know, I'm not like that, but I want them to be able to support themselves. Like, you know, yes, not that someone has to be making like billions and billions of dollars more than me. I want to live like a comfortable life. I'd like eventually like grow to that. Like I'm 23.
It depends on the outlook you see yourself as. If you want to be a provider, you have to have some type of income to support the title. Because you have an ego. I know some guys don't like when the woman pays for a date or just pays in
I'm not
general.
mentioning
So
no
I would
names.
say, yeah, it matters because if you don't want me offering to pay for something and you see yourself less of a man, then I would say income matters.
What's the minimum income that you would accept for your partner?
I can't say 67 to the minimum, but it completely depends on the lifestyle and everything. So it can be. So I'm not like going like too much. I'm not going extreme. So 70 it could be. That's like very minimum, like the lowest one, I would say.
You've heard that before,
I don't know. I guess maybe like 60,000. I think. Okay. I'm trying to think like how much do I make a year? 30 would be fine. Yeah, living in New York, that's probably as low as you can go. So we'll stay there.
Damn. Okay, so this opinion is if we're married and have a family. I would not accept anything less than 50.
What do you think the average men's U.S. salary is?
Like if we cover all the US, I would say it's probably 60. Yeah, I could say that because the country is too big.
Probably like 70.
What if I told you that it's less than 40,000?
Really? Oh my goodness. All right, well, you know, that goes out the window. Again, I'm not like money driven. So that doesn't actually matter to me. But like, you know, but again, if they have a goal and they're working towards it, that's fine. 65.
What if I told you that it's less than 40,000?
Really?
Oh, hell no.
But like, what are they doing? Where are they working? Okay, that sucks, but that's okay. Because I'm getting paid less probably.
I don't give a damn.
We'll make it work. We'll figure it out.
Cool. Honestly, I think the average is 55K.
What if I told you that it's less than 40,000?
Wow. And that's just my answer. I'm fine with 40K if, emphasis on if, you want to increase that salary. If you want to increase, then we are good.
Is it okay for a guy to split a bill on the first date?
Can I say the word
Yeah,
like,
you,
if
sure.
he wants to have sex with the author, whatever, no. And I understand the meaning why they want to split. And it's kind of reasonable, especially when you're like actively looking for somebody. You go into date like every day, 3-4 times a week. And especially if you go to the good restaurant, maybe it's really a lot if you pay for everyone you invited. So it kind of makes sense.
I probably wouldn't go on a second date with them. I wouldn't feel very good about that. I feel like as a guy, if you're taking somebody out on a date, you should pay, especially if you're taking that person out. I think just 101 etiquette and dating, you know?
I'm not mentioning no names.
Took me on the date and he took me to a really expensive spot and then he asked me to split the bill. I was like, maybe I wasn't expecting that. Like maybe give you a little warning. Like he's like, I'll surprise you where we're going. And then I'm like dropping $200 on dinner for some reason. I'm good because
Don't ask me out on a date if you want to split the bill. That's a no in my book. I can understand. This is not the first date. This is like probably the third, fourth, and I asked you on a date. Then we just split the bill where I pay the bill. But first date, first impression.
What about the dates after that? Let's say you go on a first date and he pays for the first date. The dates after that, is that something that you talk about? Is that something that you're okay splitting? Or are you going to offer? What's that like?
That's also a good question. It's very depends on the person. So sometimes I will be happy to pay for the whole bill, even on to split, when it comes naturally. When I don't see like he's expecting me to give him my cards. And when I don't see this in the eyes, when he like doesn't think I have to pay, that's not okay. But if it happens naturally, absolutely I do that. I've done this many times. It was okay after, like on the second, third date, but it should be like very natural. And when I see that just in case, anytime he still can pay for me and he will be happy to pay for me.
If you're like in a relationship with somebody and you've been together for a while, like I guess that's normal. You know, it's not okay to just always put it on the guy because, you know, it's fair to just put things down the middle, I feel like. But, you know, at the beginning, as like a guy trying to like woo the girl over, he shouldn't pay. Yeah, I'd split. Or I think it's also nice to be like, okay, I'm taking you out and like I'm paying for this one, or vice versa, or like you got the last one, I'm getting this one, or you get this, like I'll go get a drink somewhere else or dessert somewhere, something like that. All about balance.
Yeah, maybe, you know, because we're still getting to know each other. But actually, no. Second date, you still gotta pay. Probably like the third, fourth, once you're more comfortable, then I wouldn't mind paying the bill. Or if we have that conversation, okay, hey, look, I'm down today. I really want to take you out. You know, I can only afford food for myself. Okay, I could pay my part.
So as you can see, most of the women in these videos are kind of looking for a more traditional man, a man that's gonna take them out on some first dates, a man that does have his own income and does kind of have some decent financial stability. Some of the women on here that said they really didn't care, I don't know if it was really sincere, because if they're not making any money, then, and the other person's not making any money, then what are you guys gonna do? How's that gonna work out? And when they brought up the actual income level that they thought their partner should make, it was $50,000 to $70,000. However, when they were told that the average man in the United States only makes about $40,000, all of them were shocked. Now, this is not the first time that this type of video has been made, so it seems to me as like there's a disconnect between what women think men make and what men actually make in reality. So I think that gap needs to kind of close in order for people to understand each other. And if one person's not making it and the other person is, well, if you want to make it work out, there's got to be some give and take in the relationship there. Let's move into the next video and get some more opinions from different women that are going to discuss what type of income that they think a man should make.
What would you want his income to be, realistically?
At this current point in time?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, okay. At this current point in time, at the age of 34, I would like it to be between $100,000 and $120,000.
50K or up.
Okay. Do you want to just say 50K?
Yeah, let's say 50K.
Over 100.
Here we go. Okay. So give me one number. Do you want to do 120, 100?
Let's do 120.
120. And that's to where you would feel comfortable, you know, you would live a comfortable life. That would feel realistic for you.
Yeah. I mean, with the way our like society is going and our world is going, 120, I feel wow. Okay. And that's pushing it, maybe even. Like we could maybe do a little bit lower, but we'll stick with 120.
I would hope that, you know, if they're going to be if they're at that age, depending on their path and the career that they're in, you know, I'm assuming they've been working for probably 6, maybe 7 years if they're 28. Maybe between 65 and 90.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to go 75?
Yeah, we can go 75, yeah.
At least 50K.
I would say then I would want someone to make about, you know, then 70, probably 75 at least.
75.
Because see, The Rock has already answered this time and time again.
To pay their own bills and they're able to support themselves financially. That's what's important. It like I said, it's not really that much of a factor because income is so relative.
Shut your mouth.
In your career, whether you just got out of school and you're pursuing a medical job, or if you're in like a business type industry like I am, like in financial services of sorts, it really varies, you know. But I'm not gonna put a number on it because it's too variable. I'm sorry. Because it's discriminatory to judge a guy based on how much money he makes.
Okay, so we can kind of go off that. Say he graduated college when he turned, 21, 22? So he's like 9 years out of college. He's 30 years old. He's had 9 years to establish himself. What is an income that you would feel comfortable living your lifestyle on at the moment if he's 30?
If he's 30 and he's been working for almost 10 years, maybe 150 to 200 a year for his work experience.
We'll go 150.
Yeah.
Wow. But you also said you think it's discriminatory.
It is, but you're making me put a number on it. So with
Yeah.
somebody that's got 10 years of work experience, they should be getting compensated well for the time that they put in and the amount of years of experience that they have in the field if they stay with the same field.
What do you think is the median income for the age that you specified? So 35, if you had to guess.
Like 70?
It's actually 52,000.
Okay.
Does that surprise you?
It does.
Lower than you thought?
It's a little lower than I thought, yeah.
Okay, so 15% of men are 35 making 120. Pretty, it's a small percentage.
Yes, it is.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely more than some people, but 15 is still not that big.
Because see, The Rock has already answered this time and time again.
Guess it's probably around 50, 55.
33, the median is 49.
Okay.
So you were kind of close there, around the same ballpark. And then the number you chose was 75. 75,000 at 33 is the top 27% of men.
Okay.
So,
A little less realistic, I suppose.
it's not so crazy. 27% is not that much, but it's definitely more realistic than some of the other things.
These corporations need to start paying up more.
I don't care.
inflation's
I don't
really
care.
high.
That's the big thing.
For age 34, that's tougher because it's not my own age. Maybe 70,000, maybe 65.
It is $50,000.
I could see that being real.
Okay, 100,000 at age 34 is the top 17% of men.
That feels like better odds.
Yeah.
I feel good about that.
Okay. 70 to 80,000.
It's actually 45,000.
Really?
Yeah. Does that shock you?
It does, because I've worked my entire career. I've worked around people that have made 6 figures out the gate, starting in my field. So income-wise, I guess I am a little sheltered because I've been around young people that are in high income earning positions from such a young age, and they only grow with their success. Because that's all I know. Like I've been in my industry for quite a few years now.
I don't care.
That's all I know. I'm not really paying attention to like what's outside of that. So
The median income, I'm gonna go with 82,000.
42,000 for a 28-year-old.
Wow.
Does that shock you?
That shocks me.
And
yeah.
why does that shock you?
I think, and I could attribute it to maybe the industry that I'm in and the people that I've really been surrounded
I'm not mentioning
with
no
my
names.
career. I've worked in finance my whole life, and I guess I'm making an assumption here that maybe the median is higher in that field, but I guess I just assumed that.
What I'm trying to say is like,
I don't know, 42 just seems very low, especially given like inflation and all of that. Just like it's 2023, I would assume that a 28-year-old was making more than 42. I don't know, it surprises me.
So your own experience, the people you're around, people you've dated, all kind of contribute to why you're assuming that.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. So if we're looking at a 28-year-old making 75K, as you mentioned, that's the 81st percentile. So 19% of men, essentially, are making that amount at 28.
So as we can see in this video where they broke down the various different ages of men and what their earnings were by age, you can see that there's still a disparity between what most women think a man actually makes and what he really makes in reality. So again, there's a gap there, and I think that kind of plays into the disparity of the genders' differing ideas about money and how people don't necessarily have the same money values. If a person thinks you make a lot more money than you do, but in reality you don't, then in terms of dating, they're going to have a whole set of different expectations for you. They're going to be expecting to go to this level of restaurant when in all reality, you can only afford this level of restaurant. They're going to expect for you to have this level of car when in reality, you have this level of car. So it's very interesting to hear various different women from different backgrounds tell their personal opinion and their experiences on what they think that men should actually be making. Let's jump into the next video and see what these women say about men's income.
It'd be great if my husband were the main breadwinner and I would do that kind of thing where I had more flexibility, especially later on if we plan on having a family.
Okay, so do you want to do 25%?
25%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somewhere between 50-50 and 0.
Yes, exactly.
Perfect.
Stay-at-home wife, stay-at-home mom.
Okay, so 0%.
Ideal is stay-at-home wife or mom, but I wouldn't mind.
Okay.
It's crazy because I've never really thought about getting married or have kids. I've just always thought of myself as just being a hermit my whole life and just being alone. Not in a really depressing way, just that's just how I always am. But if I was to have kids and everything, it would be in a marriage situation. Yeah, I believe in traditional roles like that.
Okay, you just don't know if you see that for yourself necessarily.
Yeah, but hypothetically,
okay,
I probably want to be the stay-at-home mom with children.
Got it.
You're fired.
It all depends on how much you make. I believe in 50-50. I think it all depends on breaking your own salary up. As far as bills and expenses, again, depending on your salary, I think it should go 50-50.
Oh, okay, so we'll say 50-50. That's kind of the team mentality.
I'd love that.
Together, we're 50-50. Okay.
I'd like to be 50-50.
Okay. And you said you just graduated school?
Yeah.
To be...
I'll be a clinical psychologist in a few years.
I like being a breadwinner now, but I think when I have a kid, I would want to be a stay-at-home mom.
Okay, so we'll say 0%. Okay, so how many kids do you want?
I think 2 would be great.
Okay, and what about house size, square feet, amount of bedrooms, bathrooms?
At this point, I'm not too picky, but definitely a house that would be comfortable, have enough space for the children, and maybe a little room for extra, for visitors.
Shut your
Not
mouth.
too picky at this point, but definitely want to have
You've heard that before, right?
Okay, and then what about cars? Do we like luxury cars, regular? What kind of brand are we thinking?
I don't expect luxury, but definitely, it's got to be a good quality car. Maybe look nice too.
but not too picky with that either.
Okay, so like, would you be okay with like a Honda?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what about vacations? Do you want to go on vacations regularly, international? Like, how important is travel to you?
For me, I've personally lived abroad, so I would love to continue to travel. But I think at least once a year, going on like a vacation or traveling somewhere, that would be great.
I want you to describe your ideal lifestyle. So to start off, how many kids would you say you want to have?
Like 3, 4.
Okay. And what about house size?
Okie
Like square
dokie.
feet, number of bedrooms and bathrooms?
3.5 beds, 4 beds.
Okay.
Maybe like
You've heard that before,
2,000
right?
square feet.
Okay. All right. And what about cars? Do you want to drive a luxury car or just like a regular car? Like what brand?
I like luxury cars.
Okay. What brand, if you had to say?
Like a Tesla, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about vacations? Do you want to go on vacations regularly, international travel?
I'd like to.
Okay.
If it's reasonable.
How many kids do you want?
3.
I don't care.
Yeah.
And what about house size? Square feet or like how many bedroom and baths?
I definitely want like 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths.
Okay. So maybe like 2,500 square feet. Is that enough?
Sounds good.
Okay. What about cars? Do you want a luxury car or a regular car? Like what brand would you want?
If I'm having a family, I feel like I would just want, you know, like a regular car that's going to be reliable. Don't have to worry about it breaking down.
Okay.
But if it's just going to be like me and him in the beginning, I would love a BMW, a Benz.
You would appreciate a luxury car. All right. And then what about vacations? Do you want to vacation regularly? International travel? Is that important to you?
That is very important. I love to travel, so both like international and just, you know, going to like fun different places.
So now, how many kids would you want?
I'll probably just say 2.
So here again, you can get a variety of opinions from a variety of different women in different
100%.
backgrounds and kind of hear a little bit about what they're saying. Let's jump into the next video and see what other people have to say.
What women say that men should never believe. I don't care about money.
Shut your mouth.
If you believe this, you'll truly be punished in the long term, and let me explain why. It's not as narcissistic as you think. A woman may genuinely believe that because she genuinely is a good girl and she believes in your potential as a man. The key
What I'm trying to say
she
is like,
believes in your potential. She believes in your drive, your consistency, and your constant passion for life. It's great to think that she can love you regardless of your ability to earn money in that sense. But it's not exactly how it works. The truth is, the number one reason for divorces is financials. Money does matter, but what is more important is your drive and your consistency to try to have the competence and ability to get yourself out of a sticky situation. Having trouble financially is totally normal for anyone. And it's really more important and crucial for a woman to continuously be loyal and supportive to you.
It doesn't exist,
through these
folks.
times. However, but she will stop respecting you, supporting you, trusting you, and feel really insecure in your ability as a provider if you lose sight, drive, and perseverance to get your relationship or your family out of a financial downfall.
You've heard that
what
before,
truly
right?
turns a woman on, turns her loyalty on, turns her respect for you on, is that she needs to witness you every single day, trying your best.
I don't think so.
This puts you as the king of her empire in her eyes. It isn't about money, but it kind of is.
You are fake
it's a
news.
motivating factor.
Okay, so something that I recently learned that I literally did not know is that men do not care how much a woman earns
100%.
as an income. Like, you make $200,000, amazing. You make $30,000, amazing. Like, those salary is not a criteria that men look for. Versus women, you know, usually when they're trying to find a partner, they will be like, what does he do?
Oh, right.
What's his job? Right? Like, those are like the first questions that usually women ask. Versus
It's
men,
in my
they don't
code.
ask that. They're not like, oh, like, what does she do for work? Like, that's probably like maybe question number 3,
right? It's like less of an importance. And I didn't know that.
As a woman, you never tell a man how much money you make. It's like you're asking to be a target. Why would a masculine man care how much his woman makes unless he has plans of making her a roommate?
Yeah,
bitches,
got it.
Men don't really care how much a woman makes, but they care a lot about how much she can save. Men list financial literacy as one of the #1 things that they look for in a woman.
100%.
Financial literacy doesn't mean how much money you can provide. It means how well you understand it. Studies show that by and large, men really don't mind being the primary or even the sole breadwinner, but they do pay a lot of attention to how far you can make their wages go. See, I know women with 5-figure earners who are in less debt than women with 7-figure earners. At that point, who has more money? I know middle-aged families who are all healthy and in shape because mom can make $200 at Costco last through an ice age, and I know millionaires who are all lazy because all they do is go out to eat and play on their tablets. This is why very few women manage to impress.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white
While there are male
kids.
gold diggers out there, and perhaps that's a video for another time, they are a very small population compared to the vast majority of men who just want someone who's nice to them. I still recommend women make their own money. It's just in general a good thing to do, but don't try to use it as leverage in the dating market because a man will always choose a waitress over a CEO if she's nicer to him.
Yeah.
There's the simple reason why money does matter in a relationship. I personally believe in gender roles. I believe in men being in their masculine and women being in their feminine. I think that that creates this beautiful balance and magnetism within a relationship, and that we need each other to thrive. And I mean, that's been proven for years and years and years. So if you don't agree, that's fine. But if you do agree, here's why money does matter. If a man is capable of providing a better lifestyle that I'm capable of, or even at least equal, then I can see that he is capable of acquiring the lifestyle that I desire to be living, and that I can trust him to lead me in that. Money does reflect how abundant you are as a being. Your external reality reflects your mind. So if I can see that your external reality isn't as easy, as joyous, as abundant as mine, then I cannot trust you to lead me because I don't want to be led into less. If he's not even capable of acquiring what I'm capable of acquiring, how can I surrender and trust him to lead in a relationship? See, that's why money does matter. And it's not even about the money, it's about the capability of leading in a relationship, which is the job of the masculine.
Let's check in with an Hispanic couple and see what their thoughts are.
Do you expect this guy to make a lot of money in the future? Or like you're just fine the way he is?
I mean, I don't expect him. It's his career. I mean, I know my career is going to bring a lot of money also. So it's like...
What do you do?
Well, I'm planning to be a physician assistant.
Wait, what?
A physician assistant.
Okay, so she got a good job.
And then he wants to be a firefighter.
Do you make more money than him?
Hell yeah. I'll make more.
How do you feel about that? Do you want him to make more money in the future?
I mean, I don't mind. It's going to be both of ours at the end of the day.
Okay. Sick. How do you feel about that, though? Like, her making more money than you?
I don't mind it. I think I love what I do. It's not about the money. I just got hired with Pomona Fire, and I think it's more about the service and the people you serve. So I don't care if you're working $10 an hour. It's just about serving the people out there, the community, and just helping out the need. So if I win $10 an hour, so be it. If she wins 50, so be it. But at least I did something good at the end of the day.
Do you expect this guy to make a lot of money in the future?
Let's jump into the men's perspectives. You've heard from the women. The women have spoken. Now it's time to hear what the men have to say about women's contributions financially and sharing their own part of the pie.
How much would a woman have to make to be your wife?
None, really.
None?
No.
You don't think?
Data.
No? You just provide?
Pretty much, yeah.
Fair.
I guess it depends. If she wants to make her own money, it's all right with me. But my goal is to make sure that eventually she doesn't have to work if she doesn't want to.
Fair enough. And if she made more than you, what would your opinion be?
I don't really care. I might take a bit of a hit to the ego, but
Fair enough.
But it doesn't really matter.
Do you mind me asking what you do?
Business consulting.
And roughly how much do you make in that position?
I can't tell you.
Can't tell me? But enough to hopefully provide for your wife one day?
Yeah, we'll see.
I hate to break it to you guys.
Let's check in with the brothers. See what the brothers is talking about.
Niggas do not care about how much money a female makes.
100%.
The more money a man makes, the less he cares about how much a female makes.
100%.
Niggas do not care about how much money a female makes. The more money a man makes, the less he cares about how much a female makes.
Let's check in with these other gentlemen that are upstanding and see what their opinions are in terms of what a woman needs to bring to the table. What is, in his opinion, a man's minimum requirement to potentially start a relationship with a woman?
A guy meets a woman, super feminine, beautiful, his type, super sweet. Let's go. They go on a date. They get along really well. It's like this great match. And then she says that she works at McDonald's. He might stick around, or it might be really, really, it wouldn't be like, oh, she works at McDonald's, I'm out. Right. It's like, it would take a lot of time for him to be like, but she's all these great things, all these wonderful feminine things about her. And, you know, maybe there's other things she does on the side and she likes to crochet or knit or whatever. She has little passions. I think you would get on board with that.
Yeah, but your chances, if like you're a girl and you're watching this podcast and you want to marry a guy like that, like going to school and college, it's your best bet because you're going to be around those types of men.
Well, right.
It's a better pool. But to say like you can be working at McDonald's and kind of insert yourself into these areas later, it's like, I don't know how much I agree with that.
Yeah, we're really shaming people who work at McDonald's, by the way.
Yeah, justice for the McDonald's workers.
Yeah.
Hey, I love McDonald's. I love McDonald's.
A guy meets...
Let's check in and see what the ladies is talking about in regards to someone working at McDonald's. And we're not shaming McDonald's, by the way. I just want to make that clear. Shout out to the McDonald's workers. I love that double quarter pounder with cheese, with extra onions. And I also love that filet of fish. So shout out to all the McDonald's workers. We love them crispy fries coming straight out the fryer with no salt.
You wouldn't date somebody at McDonald's because that's not in my wage. But I would date in my wage or higher. I don't work for the wage of McDonald's. So I wouldn't want somebody that...
they got it making as much as you, basically.
Exactly, or more.
Shut your mouth.
Say that. They might be making a certain amount, but they're not willing to spend their own money on another. So it really don't matter what bracket you could be in because your money, you're not spending on him regardless. You ain't buying him nothing. Like,
that's not,
you ain't taking him out on no dates. You ain't paying no bills.
I don't care.
Let's take it to the street and see what the younger generation has to say in terms of what their specific requirement is when it comes to a man's income.
How much money does a guy need to make in order to be with you?
I'm sure that it will be a reasonable amount, as they seem like a very down-to-earth person.
Oh, way over 5 now.
Right. I'm sorry, how much?
Oh, right.
Was that per year?
Over 5 million.
Yes.
Per year?
Yes.
Why?
Yes, why? That is a very valid question. Why would a man have to make over $5 million a year just to have a chance of dating someone?
Why?
I hate to break it to you guys. It doesn't exist, folks.
Who caught that?
Wow.
Can we listen to that again?
Why?
Because that's how much... Never mind.
So over $5 million.
Men that I know personally, we would want women that actually make money. We don't want like someone who's just working at a boba shop. We actually want someone who makes pretty good money. Like if she makes over 50K, totally chill with that. Making over 50K and has a nurturing vibe, yeah, that's chill. But if she could make more than that, if she could make past 100K and still have that nurturing, that's the jackpot. A lot of men that I know.
High-value men could not care less about what a woman does for work or how much money she brings into the table. You see, we'll fall for a barista just as easily as we will a six-figure professional. Career success, ambition, drive, those are things women look for in men. Men are looking for those in a woman. In fact, the more high quality, the more high value and successful a man you have, the less he's going to care at all about how much you bring in financially. And if you do got a man who cares and is preoccupied with what job you have, with how much money you're going to earn, what you got is a chump.
One of the reasons men don't really care about your success or your career or your money is because women do not share their resources with men the same way that men share their resources with women. I can't go on 20 first dates and ever have the expectation that the girl's gonna pick up and pay for the entire tab.
Mamma mia!
I can never have that expectation. So if you make a lot of money, I don't really benefit from it.
Okay.
Even a woman who's really wealthy kind of like acts like a brokey when it comes to dating. Like,
I'm not mentioning no names.
Dates. She's not going to take me on trips. At bare minimum, she'll split. Just, we don't reap any sort of tangible benefit from your success. Because in a marriage or in a relationship, the man's money is our money, but your money is still your money in a relationship.
Let's check in with the younger folks at the mall and see how much money is in their bank account.
How much money is in your bank account?
$0.
How are you paying for that then?
I stole it.
Really? You know, can I put this on TikTok?
Yeah.
And you're fine with me putting that you stole it?
Yep.
From PacSun?
Yep.
What'd you steal?
It was a little hat.
Oh, that's a good hat. You think it's worth it?
Yeah.
How much money is in your bank account?
Probably like $200.
Do you have a job?
No.
How much money is in your bank account?
I don't know.
Can you guess?
Katie, how much do you think is in my bank account? I don't know. I'd say like 200 something.
All right. Do you have a job?
No.
Cause we know you ain't got no will. What? You ain't got no bottle. Say what you tell. Let's just be honest. Say what you tell. Let's just be real. Say one time. You ain't got no cash. Hey. You ain't got no doubt. What? Cause we know you ain't got no will. What? You ain't got no bottle. Say what you tell. Let's just be honest. Say what you tell. Let's just be real. Say one time. You ain't got no cash. Hey. You ain't got no doubt.
Let's hear from a dating and relationship expert on what she thinks the expectation is of men.
Because a lot of people say, oh, you know, when women earn more than men, they're more likely to divorce them and more likely to end it. But the reality is the reason why they're more likely to end it is because men take their foot off the pedal when the woman is financially stable. But that same man will meet a woman who's unemployed, sits at home and watches TikTok all day and give her an allowance and support her and take her dinner and do all of these things. But that woman who's hustling and working hard, he doesn't even think to grab her lunch. So that's why she gets resentful that I'm working hard, and because I'm working hard, you're investing less. When really we should be rewarding the hard work because they still like to be looked after. It's not a financial thing. Because a lot of people say, oh, you know, when women earn more than men, they're more likely to divorce them and more likely to end it.
Let's see what this gentleman has to say. The truth about women and money.
I'm sick of guys whining and complaining that girls only want money, that you need to be rich to get hot women. No, that's wrong. Let me explain. First of all, yes, women only care about one thing. When it comes down to if she'll sleep with you or not, it all boils down to just one thing: how you make her feel. It's not about the money. It's about how the guy with money makes her feel.
And will say, women only want you for your money. Well, if that's all you have to offer her, then maybe. If that's all you've shown her, then sure. You need to show her more. Teach her how useless materialistic things really are. Be a man. Well, I can't get her attention without money. Well, then you're barking up the wrong tree, brother. Or you have no game to get her attention, and you have solely relied on gifts and dinners.
I'm not mentioning no names.
And from a woman's standpoint now, if you look at it, all she sees is low-value men just throwing gifts at her, throwing money at her, buying her things, where she slowly is losing value for herself because she feels like an item that's constantly for sale. So we're all part of the problem, and it's a vicious cycle. Here we go.
La morra se cálida con una cinturita, le gusta perrear. La niña me besa y besa, fresa, sabor fresa, quiere bellaquear. La morra se cálida con una cinturita, le gusta perrear. La niña me besa y besa, fresa, sabor fresa, quiere bellaquear.
When a woman starts making money, she thinks how she can live independently. When a man starts making money, he thinks how can he provide for a family. A rich man can meet a broke woman and change her life, but a rich woman won't even look at a broke man. A woman's love of a man is conditional, but society has made you believe that men are the problem. When a woman starts making money, she thinks how she can live independently. When a man starts making money, he thinks how can he provide for a family. A rich man can meet a broke woman and change her life. But a rich woman won't even look at a broke man. A woman's love of a man is conditional. But society has made you believe that men are the problem.
Here's where people are confused about the money aspect. So making six figures doesn't give you enough of an advantage. The real advantage is when you actually have like considerable amount of assets. That gives you a level of freedom that lets you leverage your money better for dates and stuff. So you're talking about like this example of like your friends or whatever, right? Okay, but if you had like a mansion and you had parties at your mansion all the time, then the dynamic would be a lot different.
Bingo.
6 figures isn't enough to like create a different dynamic. Because you're not gonna go around and brag to girls like, oh, I make 6 figures.
How much money is in your bank account?
0.
How are you? Are you guys shopping?
100. I have $30 with me.
Are you shopping for stuff?
Yeah.
With $30?
Yes.
All right. Do you have a job?
I'm going to look for one today. We're doing Uber Eats.
As your job? All right. I like the hustle. How much money is in your bank account?
Got it. About $2 grand.
Where did you get that money from? Do you have a job?
I do, yes.
Where do you work?
I work with special needs kids.
And how much do you make?
About $22 an hour.
All right. How much money is in your bank account?
$60.
Where did you get that money from? Do you have a job?
No. My
All right.
my dad.
He gave it to you?
Yeah.
For like shopping?
Yeah, sure.
Damn. All right. Thank you. Do you have a job?
Yeah, I got 2 jobs right now.
Where do you work?
I do construction, I do basement waterproofing, and we level concrete, and the weekends I work at a car wash.
How much do you make?
I got these. Right now they're starting me off at like 17 an hour for concrete, but sooner or later they're gonna raise it up, and then weekends I get paid like 12 plus tips. It's like 20 an hour.
Here we go. All right. I like the hustle. Thank you.
Ooh. Ugh. Ugh, it's sad out here before payday. People's looking real broke. So you heard what women had to say and you heard what men had to say. So it's understood that there's a gap in earnings. It's understood that there's actually a gap in the amount of work that men do to chip in at home. So for that reason, the majority of women kind of seem that they would prefer that the man actually make more money and carry more of a financial burden. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I definitely do believe in traditional roles. However, those traditional roles are now kind of being erased. The lines are being blurred now because finances and income matter a lot more than previous generations. If you go back a couple of generations, you know, like my grandparents, for example, one person was able to support the entire household with many children and raise a very large family. Nowadays, family sizes have shrank down and inflation is kicked up, so there's just not enough money to go around. A lot of the women thought that men should be making, or men were actually making more than what they were making, when in reality, men were making a lot less than what they thought they should be making. And through the videos, it appears to me as if the consensus or the majority of people think that men should have to pay for the first date. Men should have to pay for a couple of dates until a woman gets comfortable at some point, if you would like to pursue her as a romantic interest. And a man not paying for a first date, asking to split, that's an automatic deal breaker. So If we go back to the last episode of the Funtendo Game Show, we talked about broke dating. Broke dating definitely factors in. If you cannot pay for the first date, then you should not be expecting that most women are going to actually consider you to be a romantic partner. It's just not going to happen. So, all in all, we got to see the women's sides and their opinions, how much they think a man should make, how much they'd actually like to contribute to a relationship financially versus what a man thinks a woman should make. And I would say the majority of men probably do value a woman bringing her own finances to the table, but they're not counting on it. And it's clear that men have spoken and explained exactly why, because they don't feel like a woman's income directly benefits them. They're not being lavished with nice luxury gifts. They're not being taken on vacations. She's not improving his lifestyle. And just like one of the men mentioned, a man can come into a woman's life and totally change her life and bring her up financially, but that's not going to happen most of the time in reverse. A woman is not going to come into a man's life that's on a lower level financially and then uplift him. Just my personal opinion and the opinion of some of the videos that I could find here. I looked on TikTok. I did searches like, do men care about a woman's salary? And do women care about a man's salary? And those were the responses that I got. That's going to wrap it up for the Funtendo Game Show, where we give you game. We talk about life. We talk about what's interesting and what matters to you most. Here on Thursday, March 14th, Pie Day, discussing how men and women split up the pie.
100%.
We'll catch you next time on the Funtendo Game Show.
Cause we know you ain't got no will. What? You ain't got no bottle. Say what you tell. Let's just be honest. Say what you tell. Let's just be real. Say one time. You ain't got no cash.